Good morning, everyone. Brad Roltgen here with the Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors Group. Today we are talking about stablecoins. They've kind of been in the headlines a little bit since the Genius Act passed last month, and as well as talking about staking and the possibility of staking stablecoins, which kind of moves crypto into a traditional space, or maybe not moves it into, but serves a traditional function um, that the financial system does. For example, people in retirement, I remember my grandmother had CDs and she would roll them over, every 12 months or 6 months or whatever, and then, she'd kind of live off the interest or that kind of thing. Um, and so there's a few examples of staking options with USDC that we'll get into and kind of go from there, and we'll see where the discussion leads us. So first of all, I did uh, paste into the chat window a link to our Google Doc, and hopefully you guys can see that okay. What we generally do is have a Google Doc for each meeting, and that is a place that we can paste links and that kind of thing, so nobody has to, hurry and try to write everything down or links and that kind of stuff. So you'll find that there. If you click, there's a button in the upper right that says like request share access or something like that if you want to do, and then actually post in other links and information that you find along the way. Sometimes people are Googling while we're having the meeting and that kind of thing. That's certainly welcome. But this Google Doc stays up all the time. So if you want to refer back to it, um, later, 6 months down the road, that kind of things. And usually I have that link like right here in the description on the event page kind of thing. So that's what's there. So I did find a good article talking about staking options with USDC here on 99 Bitcoins. USDC is from Circle, and it seems to be kind of making a little run at USDT, which has traditionally been the stable coin of choice. I know Coinbase is big on it, and some others as well. So just to kind of give you an example,
And what's the difference between the two? Just who made them?
exactly, yeah, um, and that's a great question. What it comes down to is which coins are supported by which wallets or which exchanges that you use. So back, 2017, 2018, if you were trading cryptos, you generally would, a lot of people got started with Coinbase, and I'm a good example of that. And so I took my Bitcoin and then would transfer it over to like KuCoin or Binance.us, and then use the Bitcoin to trade against, Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever. Um, but I think over time, USDT, that stable coin that's kind of been dominant, at least up till now, took the place of USDT. I'm sorry, it took the place of Bitcoin as what you would trade against. And I think people understood it better because when things were priced in USDT, it was like a dollar. And so if it was Litecoin, it might be $62 or something, as opposed to 0.00000713 Bitcoin, because we're like, how much is that? Type of thing. So over the past probably 3 or 4 years, USDT has become the the coin of choice to trade against. And I think it's just a little easier. And then, you take your profit and it's back in a stable dollar, like use stable and dollar in quotes. Um, but at least they understand that. Where if you traded back against Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin goes up, maybe it goes down or whatever. Um, so yeah, have you tried using a stable coin at an exchange or found one that worked and one that didn't? I think you're muted.
Uh,
There you go.
yeah, I had used Tether at one point. So,
Okay, yeah. And Tether USDT is the same thing, and it's been dominant for so long. So that's definitely well supported. It's funny, Coinbase never supported it and still don't, at least as far as I know. But USDT or USDC, when that came along, they were, supportive of that. Okay. Hey, good morning, Steve. Glad you can make
Hey,
it.
good morning, Brad.
All right. So, okay, yeah, this feels a little advertising on this one because it's like uh-oh. Now we
That
got
could be me. I
yeah.
logged in two places.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. It's like, well, you and Art, what are you guys trying to do to me? Okay. Yeah, Steve, the best thing to do is disconnect the audio from one device. All
I
right.
think I'm clear now.
Well, I muted you, but it's still, you have to disconnect the audio from one of the devices
Okay.
because that one of your devices hears the other device talking.
Okay, keep me muted.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna double mute you. Okay. Um, all right. So this one talks about this best wallet, which, sounds a little wonky, but then it gets into Binance being the top exchange to uh, uh, stake the USDC. And they talked about their flexible option is up to 10.88%,
Wow,
which is, I mean, that's a huge number
that
just
is.
for something like that. If you lock in, and this is where you might like this locked option requires holding it for 30 days. So you think of it like a, 1 month CD type of thing. Um, the problem was the minimum staking requirements for flexible and locked options are 10 cents and $50,000 respectively. So if you want to do the locked one, you got to pony up 50 grand. If you just want the other one, you can throw a dime at it. You're good, which seems totally wonky to me. Um, let's see, Bybit, and you guys can scroll, check all this out later. And then they mentioned Kraken, and they talk about 5.5%. So that's, still reasonable. So kind of where I was going earlier, saying that this provides something that we normally would get in, um, traditional finance, just, earning a percent on our funds. We've got a savings account instead of earning maybe 1% at Bank of America, we can put it in USDC into Kraken and earn 5.5%, type of thing.
The reason I've been leery about staking is when you stake it, is it allowed to go up and down, or is only the part you're staked? Um,
As far as the value of the coin,
yeah.
well, yeah, that's where it gets interesting because, if you have 10 Bitcoin or 10 Ethereum, the value goes up and down, your quote unquote net worth goes up, up and down.
Mhm.
And so if you were staking, you still own the coins, you've just kind of locked them up, sometimes
But do you
for a
lock
period of
them
time.
at the value when you stake it, or do they still go up and down?
No, you're not. The value doesn't come into play because you're not trading them. You still own that, let's just say one Ethereum, and it's $4,000 or roughly today. So you have the one Ethereum, it's $4,000. You stake it for 6 months, and then you get control of it back, and then maybe it's worth 4,500 at that time. And that's, you still get the one Ethereum back. You don't,
Oh, I understand that.
okay.
It's whether the value goes up and down
No,
or
no.
it
I
stays
mean,
at the value that you staked it at.
you're not see, you're not staking US dollars, you're staking one Ethereum. So that I think that's where the confusion's coming in because you haven't sold it, you haven't traded it,
I get
you
that.
still have it. Okay, okay. So and
I
the people that the interesting part is that the people that are, it's like why are we staking? Why is Coinbase, why is Kraken doing all this? Well, they've like this article talks about, they're either putting them into liquidity pools and like DeFi exchanges, which we've talked about in the past doing directly ourselves, and earning funds that way. But it looks like they're doing it in bulk. If they have 10,000 customers pony up $1,000 and they put all that money in a liquidity pool and they're earning 7 to 10% and they're paying us 5.5, and they make the spread, great. The other thing that the staked coins are used for is to loan out to people. So there's platforms that let you do that, and maybe Kraken has some other sister company or sister operation where they loan the funds. So that's kind of what's going on. Just like we think of banks. I put money in a credit union, and then Steve gets a car loan, and some of the money that I have saved goes out to pay for his car, and the credit union earns 6% and they pay me 1% or whatever kind of thing. So, hey, good morning, Michael. Good to have you.
Good to be had.
All right. Okay, so there's that article is in the Google Doc. I did jump over to these exchanges just to kind of see what they were talking about. So let's look at the Binance.us, which is the one we can use. So they've got this welcome to staking, great way to support your favorite projects, contribute to the network security and operation, and earn rewards. Obviously, the rewards is what we're in. Okay, why is it not letting me click?
Hey, Brad,
Yeah.
I just want to kind of interject regarding my personal experience with the staking. So like, let's say I stake Solana at $150 per coin. The value does go up and down while the coin is still being staked. It does go up and down. So if it goes to 175, then I have $175 worth of Solana and it's still being staked. And if it goes down, the value goes down, and I'm still getting the staking rewards.
Yeah, and we talked about how you're doing that. If you wouldn't mind sharing that with the rest of us, if you're comfortable with doing that.
Sure. Yeah, basically, I'm doing my staking through iTrust Capital, and it's a Solana staking venture, and it pays 6.1% on all the coins that you staked. And if you want to stop it, you put the request in. I think it takes like 2 to 3 days for the staking to stop and for you to have access to the funds again.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of been standard. I've seen anywhere from 3 to 10 days to stop, discontinue the staking and your funds become available. So it's not immediate, but it's not 90 days or some, crazy length. So good. And so you can do that within a retirement account.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool, cool. Yeah, we talked about iTrust in the past for, to hold some crypto assets in the retirement areas. Cool. And you've been happy with that so far?
Yeah, 100% because what I did was I closed out an old 401k and took those funds and put it in iTrust Capital, and I'm very happy with how things are going.
Good, good. I mean, it seems odd. Do they have other coins that you can stake, or is it just Solana?
I think it's just Solana and maybe Ethereum, but yeah, they don't have too many coins that you can stake.
Okay,
At
that's
least there may be more, but I don't know.
yeah, because I'm kind of keeping an eye on Solana because it seems to be the one that people are talking about as far as having more ETFs and that kind of thing. So I find it interesting that somebody as large as I Trust Capital, if that's their only option or one of two or three, that Solana is it. So that's to me, it's a tip off that might be a good one to hold, which I've already been doing for a while, and other people have been talking about it long before I got into it. So it's not a secret, but that's good to hear. Okay, so let's see if we can get
I'm
this.
sorry, but my question, so if you have a coin that's 1,000 and you stake it at say 5%
Oh,
and it goes down to 500, then is the 5% off the 1,000 when you staked it, or is it off the 500 that it goes down to? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're staking the coin and like his example at 6%. So he's going to earn 6% in Solana.
Right. But is it off the current value on any particular day, or is it
Doesn't
at the
yes,
value that you staked it at?
yes. For me, my experience is yes.
Okay, well, just confirm then, Art, because I was under the assumption that the rewards you're earning those in Solana or are you earning those in US dollars?
They're in Solana.
Okay, so if you went in with 10 Solana at the end of the whatever period, you might have 10.42 Solana.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So again, it's hard. We got to just think in terms of that coin. You know, we're
Okay.
not staking $1,000, we're staking 10 Solana, and now we have 10.42 Solana or
Got
whatever
it. I
kind of
got it
thing.
now. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, cool. No, it's hard to wrap our heads around it sometimes. And I, I've seen ones, especially on the DeFi exchanges, where you might stake Ethereum and well, a good example I did a lot on BNB. So you might stake or do a liquidity pair with BUSD, which was their stable coin on the Binance chain, and BNB, you know, the main coin. But it was on Pancake Swap, and they would pay the rewards in Cake, which is the Pancake Swap's native token. So you didn't earn you didn't earn BUSD, you didn't earn BNB, you earned Cake. So that's a whole separate, you know, issue. But you know, in crypto, you can do anything, try anything. It's, you know, where the main financial system, you know, the old school financial system, everything is dollar based. So we're just used to that. But you know, they would pay a little more in Cake because it was their token, and they were trying to get it to be used more to become more valuable and that kind of thing. Okay, so I think we're not going to see this nice little deal, so we'll just exit out if we, what the heck? I think I'm stuck. Um,
Try refresh.
yeah, it just goes away and doesn't come back. There we go. Okay, I just got stuck. Okay, stake with confidence. We offer true on-chain staking for applicable tokens, which means all rewards are generated solely by the protocols underlying each staking offering. That doesn't make sense, but okay. The funds are securely stored in offline and all staking rewards are passed on to you. Okay, this is still a little technical for us. We don't need stake or unstake orders can take up to 3 business days to process. So like Art was talking about. Okay. Um, rewards up to okay, so here we go. Here they're talking about the different coins that they offer staking on. So Solana, 7 point, well, I'm just going to try not to point to things here. 7.3 on Solana, 0.5 on BNB. Think it would be a little better on their own coin. 2.7 on Ethereum. Atom, 14, it's getting up there. ONT, 18. Yeah, like I was telling Art earlier, there might be coins that are better for staking that you don't, you know, believe in as long-term holds, but if you're just looking for the staking rewards, that might play. But the problem is if you stake them for 6 months and the coin goes down 20% and you've only earned 4%, you know, that's kind of a lose-lose situation, which I've done on the DeFi platforms. So anyway, you guys can check those out. Let's take a look at USDC over on Coinbase. Blah, 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 blah. Their reward here, 4.1%.
With
That's
the
pretty sure.
Coinbase, with the Coinbase,
Uh-huh.
you, you don't necessarily need to stake it, do you? Because like I have, let's say I have $1,000 and just USDC. I'm not staking it, but I'm still getting 4%.
Yeah, it just literally just holding it in your wallet in Coinbase, not the
Okay.
Coinbase DeFi wallet, but yeah. Yeah, so if you had, my balance is 0 on that. I'm not earning, but yeah. Um, and there's
But
a few other that are like that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
you can't hold it in a cold wallet, I assume.
Um, there's projects or coins where if you're using the native wallet for that project, like, when a new coin comes out, nobody is supporting it. So the project has to have a wallet. So, and I'm thinking of Tezos that came out long ago. They had a little feud going on, so they were offline for a couple of years. But their coin was designed to be one that just staked, like that was part of the tokenomics, of that project. And so all you had to do is hold it in the Tezos wallet, and you were earning the rewards. Then it seemed like other exchanges quickly adopted the similar strategy because, for example, like if you had the Tezos in um, Coinbase, you know, once it's there, the transactions are just kind of like ledger transactions until you withdraw, and they're actually on-chain transactions. So I think what Coinbase did is they just took, my USDC, Steve's USD, Michael's USDC, and put it into, or Tezos into one of those Tezos wallets where they earned the rewards, and then they just passed them on to us as the customers, kind of thing. Um, Unless they decided to loan them out, or because you gotta always ask, well, how how are these rewards being generated? It's not from the goodness of their heart. They got to generate those funds somehow. That's a good question. As far as like a specific cold wallet, that would be coin or token specific. If that, yeah, you'd have to look at whichever one you're interested in, see if they did that and which coin it was.
Hey, Brad,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to revisit, and maybe you or Art can jump in on this, the part about Coinbase. So say that I had $1,000 in my Chase bank account. I bank with Chase. So I have $1,000 there. Right now, I don't have a lot of USDC in Coinbase. All my Coinbase stuff is crypto. So if I bring over that $1,000 from Chase and just plop it in Coinbase in USDC, this is the part I got a little confused on based on what Art said. Do I need to do anything in order to earn interest on that USDC? Do I have to sign up for staking, or does my USDC just automatically pay an interest for however much I have held in Coinbase?
Yeah, you just put it in there. You don't have to sign up or commit. Is probably the better term to a 1 month, 3 month period, that kind of thing. So you look down here, my lifetime earnings in USDC is 19 cents
Yep.
because I had some sitting there whenever, however, yeah, rewards that have been added to your account since you started holding USDC with Coinbase. And I never did anything, you know, to stake. It just was there,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Good
So
to
yeah,
know.
if you've got 5,000 in Chase, you might go, well, I'm not going to need 3,000 of that. You plop it over here and earn the 4.1%.
Okay.
And if something came up, you needed to get a new refrigerator, you could transfer the funds back tonight and, use your Chase debit card or whatever to buy your refrigerator. Um, yeah. So it looks like I bought, back, yeah, in 23, a little bit here and there, kind of thing. Let me look at think, yeah, if you look at like Explore, it's just showing all these different coins. And here on the USDC, it shows the APR. So I'm going to scroll through just and see if there are other ones that pop up with anything. Yeah, not really seeing a whole lot. Let's look for Tezos and see what that one is. I don't know what they've done lately. They seem to be real promising back in the day, but it was like a few. There was like a husband and wife and another guy that started the project, and I think it was almost like the two guys were against the wife or something. There's some dispute, and it was just a mess. Oh gosh, look at this. Update for California residents. Staking thanks to Gavin Newsom. A staking eligible jurisdiction. Oh my gosh. Well, it's like only if the color of your flooring is in the gray family. If you have green carpet, you're not eligible. And will earn in your staking balance rewards. Okay, so here they're saying like on Tezos, they only pay out every 24 days, or oh no, you don't start earning until you hold it for 24 days. Then they pay out every 3 days, and your wait time is about 2 days to get out. Rewards while unstaking, yes. Okay. So during that 2 or 3 day period of unstaking, you still earn the rewards. Interesting. Oh gosh, look at this. So these 4 states, these are the rules. New York, you know, ineligible. These 2 states, blah, 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 blah. Everybody else is regular. Okay, great. So, that's got to be nuts for them to say. So maybe California, Maryland, New Jersey, and Wisconsin put up a stink and said, no, we want our customers to be able to unstake anytime. Wow. No new principle. Huh. Okay, so you can read that there. Geez, how complicated. Let's see if they talk about their
Capitalism is
rewards.
not promoted by everybody, Brad.
And there you go. There you
Sadly.
go. Looking to see what Tezos is paying. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so, let's see. So I went, and then I did on some article I clicked over here to buy. This is Binance.com, which unfortunately we can't use. But just to get an idea, they have that flexible and locked option. So the simple earn principal protected, you can get 12.5%. But then if you want to lock it up for a given amount of time, they're saying up to 143%. That's not bad. And Ethereum, super good. Looks like you have to, yeah, really lock it up to get something interesting there. So yeah, just the thing to watch out for is don't chase the big rewards if it's a crappy coin. But if we're talking stable coins and staking, we got these are pretty much the two options. And like Steve mentioned, it's just like savings in a bank account, the way we can think about it, as far as not our principal value not going up or down. The one thing to be cognizant of, Celsius, the Celsius network was one of the early ones that allowed you to stake coins that were not stakeable, where Tezos was a stakeable coin in its tokenomics, but Ethereum was not. So like Celsius would let you put your Celsius on their platform, and then they would go out and do whatever to earn with that Ethereum, and then give you the rewards. Unfortunately, they went bankrupt. And so then you're sitting there going, well, wait, what happened to my 10 Ethereum? And maybe we're fighting with the courts or whatever's going on. Oh, here, beginning claim distributions to eligible creditors, blah, 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 whatever. So don't just go willy-nilly at, chasing the highest reward or that kind of thing. And we had a few people when we talked about this staking topic, probably in 22 or 23 or somewhere, that had good success with Celsius, and they were highly recommended. They weren't a fly-by-night company. They were, one of the bigger ones. So for them to go down, it's part of the crypto fun, I guess. Um, yeah, Michael, have you looked at? I know you were thinking about different ideas with your crypto and not just doing a lot of trading, so to speak, but better just to hold it. Have you ever looked at the staking option at all?
I've looked at it from time to time, but I should probably do some. I've got some Solana, I guess I could do it with. And yeah, I'm a buy and hold guy. Um, the trading just is just too challenging to I get better returns by just buying it and holding it. So
Yeah,
as for staking, I think I'll probably end up staking my Solana now that I see it. I'm usually just too busy to get into some of these things. And that's why I love coming to see these things with you, because you bring ideas to me that I've known about, but I've like forgotten because I'm onto something else.
right. Well, and that's how it is with crypto because there's so much going on, and maybe 3 months later there's something better, and it's cool because the rate of development in the crypto space is much greater than the traditional finance kind of thing. So yes, maybe let's see. Do a little Googling. Let's see, best way to stake Solana. Well, here's on their site. Let's see what they say. Hey, Solana keeps coming up, so let's.
Maybe ask AI, like Rob.
Oh, okay. You want to do that while I'm looking at a couple of these things here?
Sure.
Cool, cool. Got to divide and conquer here. Okay, so this is all the details. Staking. Gosh, okay. Risks. Stake. How do I stake? To stake Solana. Okay, yeah. So here we go. To stake Solana tokens, you must use a wallet that supports staking. Not all wallets support staking at this time. Solflare is one that supports staking. So let me open up another tab here with a list. Okay, you ran into an issue. Okay, it's not wanting us to show that. Yeah, and that's where it can get, well, Michael, I mean, the Solflare, I know I used it just like once for something. But this is, a wallet where you control the private keys, so it's not at risk at like a Celsius network kind of thing. So this might be something to staking.
You can stake it on Coinbase, right?
Um, I'm not seeing the little percentage thing like it did for USDC. Oh, here we go. No, no, no. You could be earning 5.08%. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think, Coinbase should be relatively safe. If they go away or bankrupt, then crypto has a big problem kind of thing. So, um, but if you're one that just absolutely doesn't want to leave things on centralized exchanges, then this Solflare would be a good
Well,
should be a good option for you. And they're talking about 6.47, so maybe the direct staking pays a little more, and Coinbase has taken their cut, about 1.4% cut kind of thing there. Deborah, did you find some other ones for?
I didn't find anything that's particularly new. It says top platforms are Binance with 9.28 to 13.47 for 30 to 90 day lockups. Kraken is 6 to 12% APY with flexible staking, no lockup.
Okay.
And then Coinbase is beginner friendly with 5.15 APY, low 1% minimum and flexible unstaking, but charges a 25% fee.
25% fee, 25% of what?
This is all it says. So
If they're taking 25% of the 5.15 or whatever. Huh.
I'm guessing it's in when you do a transaction, they take 25% like gas fees.
And that's way too much. That's
I
that.
would agree. I would
Yeah.
agree.
Huh.
That only gives you 3.75%
Yeah.
net.
I'm wondering if they're talking like the 25% off the this kind of number that gives us who knows?
Brad,
Yeah.
to my the staking that I'm doing with my Solana, they're taking 22%, but and I'm getting 6.1%, and I'm getting 6.1% regardless, and they're getting 22% before that, if that makes sense.
Okay. So it's 8% or something and the 20% off, and then you get the 6 or
Yeah.
whatever that number is. Okay. Okay. Well, as long as they're telling you what you're actually going to earn as opposed to like, oh, you're earning 6% and then they take 5 of the 6% for their fees or something. And you're like, wait a minute. So that's fine. And now, I mean, that's a huge number. It's like, no wonder they're wanting us to stake. If Coinbase can just earn that much off of our money, yeah, they're gonna want to do that. So,
Now,
well,
Coinbase had been hacked a few times. Is it stable now?
um, I, c- I'm not the definitive knower of everything. I know people have got their individual accounts hacked,
Okay.
because of their, you know, simple password, or they left something on, or they're accidentally emailed of something, that they did wrong. But I don't recall anything where, the site got hacked like we've seen some other ones where they get in and, they transferred $15 million in 18 seconds or something, and they're in, they're out, kind of thing.
I
You
think
know,
the biggest thing that happened to Coinbase was just about a year ago. They had some employees that got paid a lot of money by bad guys to reveal Coinbase members' data,
oh,
including passwords. And then they approached, as a third party, they approached those employees as if they were Coinbase and took their money. Coinbase reimbursed all of them and shut it down very fast. So it was not a direct hacking of the Coinbase system. It was a buyout of some bad employees that turned over data that they should not have turned over. So
Got it.
Coinbase put out a huge reward to catch the bad guys, and they caught most of them, and then have now litigated against them. So, and then they made
Cool.
everybody whole that got their accounts broken into because they felt since it was our employees that gave over passwords and personal data, that's on us.
That
Which,
I had not heard that. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's appropriate. If they're your employees, you know, that's on you as the employer, kind of thing.
And then they fixed
Um,
the system. I should add, then they fixed the system where the employees could not, um, they had every time they come into service Coinbase members, they can't use any personal phones or equipment. They have to use only stuff at Coinbase provides them a phone when they walk in the door. And so they were using their personal phones and different things like that, could bring in their own laptops and stuff, and they were capturing data. But Coinbase put an end to all of that.
Okay, that's
okay.
good to hear.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for sharing that, Steve. That's good details for, that's more of a social hack than a technical hack, so to speak.
Right.
Just
The
like if you,
proverbial inside job.
yeah,
Yeah.
or you call Verizon pretending to be a manager at a Verizon store and say, "Hey, I need this customer's, whatever, kind of thing." There's different ways to hack these.
I'll tell
I
you who's
have
doing it now on just a little side note is there's a big spam job, hack job going on through the DMV. So just this last week, I was talking with Lino. We both got hit in text messages from somebody representing the DMV, and I'll tell you, the graphics and everything look like it's coming from the DMV. And I just knew instinctively something was wrong because I've never been texted from the DMV before.
No.
So,
Government agencies don't text you.
right.
Yeah, maybe just a two-factor verification or something like that. But yeah, I know the big one going around for a while was like the toll charges. Like
Yeah.
they'd say, hey, you have a $7 toll fee for the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay, so
Hey, Brad.
uh-huh.
One other thing is that Coinbase will never call you. Because I've had twice in the last year, people call me up and say, we know we're from Coinbase. We see some issues with your account, and so on and so forth. And some of them actually had some of my personal information. And so then I could tell something was going on. And I go, well, how much do I have in the account? Oh, well, we can't give out that information, sir. And so right then I knew that it was fake because if you can't tell me what the balance is in my account, then you're not from them. So then I end up calling up Coinbase. Coinbase told me they do not call people directly. You have to call them. Now they may email you and things, but they do not call. So just be aware of that. So actually two things happened. Somebody called me and said somebody from our security department is going to call you. And then they called back from an 800 type number. And so there was two different calls and that's happened twice to me.
Okay.
So there's a lot of that going on out there,
Yeah,
trying to socially hack you.
right, right. And yeah, unfortunately it's pretty easy to spoof a caller ID number.
Yeah, they sound
Very,
pretty professional, right? I
yeah.
mean, they sound pretty good. It's not a foreign voice. It's an American voice and English, and so trying to make you feel more comfortable that it's not you know, that it's somebody who's real, but
Right,
it's not.
right. Uh, On the flip side of that, I still have it, a Coinbase debit card, which I was using tremendously 2 years ago because they were paying out up to 4% depending on which coin you chose to get rewards in. And so they were paying 4% in XLM or Stellar. And so I'm like, fine, if you want to pay that on my, gas, groceries, daily transactions, I pretty much, used that card for everything. And so I had earned like $900 in almost a year. And then they sent me a new card or something. And then all of a sudden the card stopped working. And so in the way they worked, you had to put the funds in a specific, well, no, they had to be in your US dollar account in your, Coinbase. And then you could spend up to that with the card. And so, but the transactions were kept getting declined, for $6, just little amounts. And so I called and said, "Hey, this isn't working." And they're like, "Well, you have to have funds in your account and something else," which I did. And they're like, "Well, I can't give you any more information why it's declined because of security." And I'm like, "Well, how the hell are we going to fix this if you can't tell me what it, I'm like, "Can you fix it?" And they're like, "Well, no, you have to do this," and which, the balance and whatever. So I'm like, I couldn't fix the issue, and I just, obviously I stopped using it because every transaction was declined, but I don't know if they went too far in that regard but they didn't say like, "Oh, you've got to call this debit card department," because there was when you call in, it's like press one for this, two for this, that kind of thing. So
Isn't Coinbase coming out with a Bitcoin card in September where you get like 4%? Lino was talking about that a couple meetings back.
um
I believe it's September, but
I don't know, but I just got the one from Gemini, and Dave turned me on to that at the last meeting. And so I got this card, and it's cool because it's a metal card. It's real heavy, and you can get it in different colors. And so I got it in Bitcoin orange, just so it stands out. I can find it easy in my wallet. And it does pay up to 4% on like gas, which I'm like, well, yeah, I'm using gas all the time. That's a no-brainer. And then 3% on restaurants and all that. And it pays right away. Like, you go to the gas station, by the time you get home, log into the account, and you've got, 0.0000012 Bitcoin, in your account for it, kind
are
of
there
thing.
any
Yeah,
fees associated with that?
No fees. It's got the interest is like 20%, but I'm like, I'm just going to pay it off every month. That's not a big deal. But yeah, it didn't cost anything to get started. I got the card in 7 or 8 days after I signed up.
You said that's
Um,
Gemini.
Gemini. Yeah.
That's the
Gemini.
Winkle
Wink,
Perry boys or whatever, right?
Winklebro, Winklebrother,
The
Winklebross.
Winkle brother, yeah, whatever. Winklevoss. I think that's it. Winklevoss.
But
Yeah. Yeah. And so you just go to their, I mean, literally, I think I was trying to get hacked or something because I got emails saying, something in my Gemini account. I'm like, I don't think I ever opened a Gemini account. Um, but I wasn't sure. So in part of this card process, I created an account and I'm like, well, yep, that those other messages were bogus. Um, but you can barely log in without getting all these things hitting, use our card, kind of thing. So just a
I
heads up on
just
that.
looked it
And
up. Michael, Coinbase is coming out this fall. It doesn't say September, it says fall of 2025. It's going to be called the Coinbase One card. Um, and it offers back up to 4%, but you have to have a lot of money in Coinbase to get the 4%. The base reward rate is 2%. 2% back in Bitcoin on every purchase. So
and is that
So
a credit card or a debit card?
it it says credit card. Yes, Coinbase is launching a new credit card called the Coinbase One card.
Okay, because all the ones that I had seen in the past were all debit cards where it, took money in your account. And Dave was like, "No, no, this is a credit card." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so, but that's sounds like, some other people are getting into it from the credit card standpoint too.
is that the link that you put up on chat?
No, that link is a YouTube interview with Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase. I shared it with Brad this last week. It's with an interviewer named Sean Ryan. I would say on the scale of interviews, it's about a 7 because the interviewer is not that familiar with the whole scene. I would have liked to seen it go a little bit farther into new products and new things that Coinbase is doing, but it is a good general overall story of Coinbase and what they're doing and where they're going. So I thought it was a good little interview.
Thank you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't say little, Steve. That's 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's right.
holy
I
cow,
listened
I
to it
don't.
in 3 parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to yeah. Anyway, but no, looks like a good one. I just barely got started into it. Okay. Anyway, I think you guys have gotten me off track a little bit. Um, Although I might have been near the end of the track. So we kind of veered into Solana staking because I think a number of us have that coin and believe in the coin, so that's good. So we've got the wallet, the Solflare potentially to use, or the easy solution is Coinbase. I'm thinking maybe I might transfer my Solana there just to earn that. Yeah, okay, good. Um, any other coins that you guys might
Where,
want to
where
stake?
were you saying to send it?
I'm thinking to start, I might just send mine to Coinbase, even though I'm a big believer, and you can go back years in the recordings, and we always say, move your coins off of the exchanges unless you're trading them. It's like I told somebody else this example the other day, and they're like, "Oh, that's a good example," where it's like the exchanges are like grocery stores. We go to the grocery store with $100 bill, we get milk, eggs, and bread, probably, maybe. And what do? We don't leave the milk, eggs, and bread at the supermarket. We bring it home with us. So we only use the exchange to exchange our funds, and then we bring them home, the funds home, to a wallet where we control the private keys, whether that's an Exodus wallet on our computer, our cell phone, or a cold wallet. That's up to each person. With people are just getting started and they've got $500 to work with. I hate to see them spend $100 on a cold wallet when those funds could probably be better used investing in Bitcoin, type of thing. And you can use the Exodus or Trust Wallet for those are free, but just to get them in that habit of moving them off the exchanges, kind of thing. So I'm going to go against that, my rule that maybe to try the Solana thing. Um, Okay. Yeah. Any other ones that we want to look into specifically? Or if you think, I'm trying to think of those the ones that come up are the ISO.
Brad,
Let's
while
see,
you're searching
staking
that,
ISO.
I need to get going. But I was going to ask the group if they had any suggestions for experts that we could have on the Saturday Zoom calls.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Obviously we're not going to get Brian Armstrong on our calls, but we've had other guests on if there's any uh
It could be on
projects
anything
or
related to crypto, right?
I highly suggest Michael Saylor. I mean, it's just an idea.
Let's do it. We're going to task you with getting him, Michael. You're our in with Michael Saylor.
Oh yeah, he and I are like this, man. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
tight. We're tight. I
yeah.
wish.
yeah. Um I wanted the what was it? Oh gosh. Uh Angel and Angelo that have been our last two um, in-person meetups. I wanted to have them and come in and talk about what they're trying to do as far as the evangelism of Bitcoin and stuff up in Madeira. So maybe we'll try that. But yeah, if you guys think of anyone you ran across, or a YouTuber or something like that, especially if it's a smaller YouTuber that wants to maybe hopefully expand their reach and we can help them expand it a little bit, maybe not a lot, but a little bit kind of thing. So yeah, thanks for that, Steve. Um, cool. Here,
Yeah, I got to go too. I've got
okay. I'm gonna
something coming up here.
I'm gonna drop this link for these ISO 20022 coins. I don't know if they're really talking about staking, but I'll drop that in here. If you guys want to check out later. So
You'll have a
cool.
good weekend.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah,
Michael.
Brad.
thank
We'll
you,
Appreciate it,
everybody.
buddy.
Have
see
a
you in
good day.
person in a few weeks.
You betcha.
All right. Art, Deborah, any other questions or anything we can help with? Or if there's any, roadblocks you guys have run into? Susan's in here too. Susan, I'm sorry, I totally missed you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I joined late.
Okay. No
And
problem.
the 9 o'clock is hard. my brain is not settling into that. I'm available, it's just not a habit.
Okay, well, good to have you. Have you made any more progress on the crypto front?
No, no, but I do I'm interested in an Ethereum ETF. And so I Googled it and it doesn't look like there are many choices, but do you know anything about those? Like,
I didn't realize they had actually launched. I know they had been, put in for getting approval or whatever, but let's take a look. Are
I
the,
think
the
that I
companies the
think,
same players that are doing the Bitcoin ones?
well, I think there's one ticker that's BMNR. It's
BMN.
Bitwise.
Okay, yeah, they were one. Yeah.
Bit is um
This looks like it's a company. Let's see. Ethereum ETFs. Oh, I totally spelled that wrong. Okay. Ethereum ETF list. Here we go.
oh wow, so you search way different than I do. This is better.
Okay. Um, oh, this is a good size. There's more here than oh, than crypto Bitcoin. But these are starting to come up. Like here's an index fund from Bitwise. So that might be interesting in addition to just an Ethereum one. But let's see com- is there an iShare? That's the brand for the BlackRock. Here, iShare Ethereum Trust. So yeah, obviously it's going to be the biggest one. So ETHA, it probably would be hard to go wrong with that one.
Okay.
Some people don't like BlackRock, which I totally get. Um, but look, they have the biggest asset volume by 2x compared to the next closest,
Yes.
one. Um,
Well, it's a solid company.
yeah, yeah. So I would start there and actually
Okay.
I'm gonna make a note for myself because I have a brokerage account. Okay, yeah, anyway. Yeah. And I've just done the Bitcoin in there, but yeah, it would be good to get a little diversification. So Fidelity, obviously we've heard those. The Grayscale folks are they were the first ones that did that Bitcoin futures or whatever they did years ago. So the top
Okay.
top couple
And
there.
the grayscale was the highest fees on Bit with the Bitcoin.
Oh, was okay. Okay.
So I'd probably have personally, I'd probably avoid them.
Sure,
But
absolutely.
okay, yeah, this looks like a great list. Okay.
Okay.
That's very helpful. I know that's off topic too, but
That's okay. Sometimes there's literally when the way we discovered the I don't know if you remember Lofty.ai.
yes, yes, I loved that.
Yeah, and we discovered that was totally off topic. And Deborah, that was one where they do let us buy small chunks of uh income producing real estate
Yeah. Uh-huh.
by like $50 chunks, and they've basically tokenized real estate. And we actually got the CEO on for a meeting. I guess that was a year ago, May, give or take, and he explained more about that. So that was yeah. So no problem at all.
Okay.
And has that worked?
Yeah, yeah. It's worked out well. There's been a couple. I ended up investing in I think 9 or 10 properties. There's been a couple where the property manager kind of went off track or that kind of thing, but it wasn't, part of the project. It was just, a person. It's like, hey, you're not a good property manager. And what was cool is the way it works is all the people that own the tokens vote. So any investor, they can just own one share, one token, $50 worth. They can put out a vote to everybody to say basically we want to replace the property manager, and then we all vote. And so you get an email that says, hey, we're having this vote. You need to vote within 3 days, and boom, and 80% of the people said get rid of the property manager, and that's what happened.
Is it
Kind of.
LOFTI.ai?
Uh,
LF
LOFT here.
LOFTY.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I was impressed because the kid went through Y Combinator.
I don't know
Mm.
what that is.
I just put it in chat.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the incubators for.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't just crypto, but just in general.
it's all that's where like the OpenAI, Sam Altman and his
okay,
brother went
yeah.
through
Right.
Y Combinator.
Yeah.
So a lot of young techie
Hmm.
uh, founders did, and so that was impressive.
Well, and
I-
obviously they've had success,
Yeah,
that's the ultimate
yeah.
deal. So yeah. Um, so yeah, this was cool. This was cool. And it was something that we've literally talked about for 4 years. Like, hey, what about this tokenizing real estate? And there's one of our members briefly came to, she didn't show up to that many meetings in person, but she wanted to do this kind of thing. And I'm just like, this is this is not something two guys do, in their garage over the weekend. This is a serious,
Yeah.
thing. And I don't think our member here realized this because she was in real estate and anyway, but it was cool to see. And they keep adding properties to it. Let me see. Can log in here. Let's see. I think I'm logged in on another browser window here just to show you.
Now, did your email have the Google Doc on it?
No, but the Google Doc is linked in. So this is what I refer to as the event page
Okay,
for each of our meetings, and then on that page is a link to the Google Docs
okay, got it.
for that meeting. And then under our group, you can go to events and then past meetings.
Okay,
And so you could literally scroll to 2000. Let's see. I'll just keep.
real
Yeah.
estate.
Okay. July. So here, real estate fractional ownership with Lofty CEO. So that's the one, and you could go there. And then what I usually do is I post a link to the recording in the comments, recording from today's meeting. So you
Got
could
it.
click on that for
Okay,
that
thank
one.
you.
But and then once you get to our channel, then you can obviously look at all the videos on our channel.
Okay.
Brad, thank you for all your
Yeah,
hard work.
no
Yes.
problem. Thank you for the question, and I'm glad we got the ETF thing here. Um,
I
yeah,
appreciate that.
cool. Oh, yeah, I was gonna log into Lofty AI here just real quick. It's it's crazy. You can just, do just little chunks here and there. All right, going overboard on the tabs here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Shoot. Uh,
Do you have to be logged in to look at the properties?
no, no. So you could see these. This is what they call market, and so you can go and it'll say, this is what the yield rental is on here, and then you can buy each one, and you can get started. When I started, I linked a bank account and I think I bought 4 tokens for $200, and it just took it out of my bank account type of thing. Or they use the what? I always forget which. Let's see which token they use. And it's one of the 20022 coins. Crypto. Yeah, Algo. There we go. Okay, so anyway, so if I look at asset overview, it shows my account value, not a whole lot. Available balance is what I left in there, and my rent balance. You literally get rent payments every day, little
Oh,
chunks. So
okay.
so if I buy a property today, I start earning rental on it tomorrow. It's not rounded off to the next month or whatever. So here's this property. I have 5 tokens. This is the current value. It looks like this is one of those ones that they're doing something with the property manager. And I think this one down here. So a couple of these, like I said, they've gone wonky. They were doing this one is an Airbnb, which was doing really well last year when I got it, and it's kind of gone south where I bought the tokens at 67, and now they're trading at 44. So that's, not as good. But I was trying to hold on through the end of the summer, thinking that they'd get more action during the summer. This is just like a 1 unit condo or apartment, kind of a basic yield. The market's gone down for that. So here, yeah, this one's a little better, kind of thing. There's a couple that were like, yeah, these dang Airbnbs, they were doing so well. Man,
Well, Airbnbs are not the thing anymore. So,
yeah, it was just overdone, and yeah. So this is the one that's gone. Oh my gosh, this is really tanking. So, yeah, things don't look too impressive right now.
all of them are in negative, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make me happy, but it wow. Wow. These yeah, this is it. I mean, and some of these were like they were rented out. They like they maybe had a vacancy rate of like 10 to 12%. And so it's like, well, just get a different manager in there to rent the rest of them out. And that's another, good chunk of change you're going to be getting each month. So I don't know if people have given up on this, but you can go in and get all the details, like unit 4, the person moved out. Um, yeah, so this is the kind of stuff anybody sees, and then when you're an owner, view property transaction data. Yeah, you got all this, just tons of information.
Okay,
Fixed
so you
garage
get
door.
you get a real spreadsheet of what the costs are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of there's like a little like notes area or like a little blog thing, and it's like, okay, air conditioning in unit 3 out, property management getting bids, things like that.
Yeah. I think
Um,
wait, it
Here we
doesn't look
go.
like it's the right.
Yeah, property updates. So yeah, here's governance results for this. Governing are back to the owner, yeah. Yeah, anyway, take a look at it. But yeah, I'm sorry. I wish the results spoke a little better because they were much better previously. But what's hurt is that the market value of this one went down because they all come out at $50, just as like the starting price. And then the owner has so many tokens and then they sell out of those. And then everything else that's on the market after that is people turning over their tokens that they bought it, kind of thing. So, and some of them, like this other one I bought it high at $60 because it was getting like 18% yield. I mean, there was a point where my yield was about 18% across the whole portfolio because some were over 20. And I wasn't even getting into any that were like less than 15, but obviously things have changed. So I'm gonna hang in there, but it was just cool that they've been able to do this.
Well, it's good to know about. I know when I was doing research on XRP, they were talking about how Dubai had tokenized most of their research, real estate. So,
Most. That's pretty impressive.
well, not, I haven't verified it. That's what it said.
Yeah, maybe new properties that were because what these guys do is there's an LLC that's created for each property. And so me as owning 5 tokens, I'm a member of that LLC.
Got it.
And so that's the legal structure. It's not, in the way the deeds are recorded and blah, 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 all that stuff. It's not just like they're making this up and some guy says, okay, you own, but we actually own a slice of those properties via the LLC for each one of the properties. So, okay, yeah, I just wanted to complete the story since I didn't want to leave you hanging like what's going on, but at
Thank
least
you.
that's out there on there. Art, any other questions or comments you got?
No, not really. Just
Okay.
looking forward to some ETFs, hopefully in October for Solana and XRP. If they get approved, and I believe they're going to be, I believe those coins are going to rise up significantly.
Yeah, I think Solana, I've been expecting that just in all the discussions um, that I see or little news blurbs here and there. It's like Solana seems to be the next one. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, guys, I appreciate you joining us for this week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will post the recording later today, on that same event page.
Thank you.
All
And I'll
right.
Thank you.
probably be in touch with you on Monday.
Okay, great. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.